some of the people were complaining in my German high school, but boy, if they had to eat American high school food. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Montana, and if you guys haven't seen any of my other videos, then thanks for clicking on this one. I was an exchange student in Germany this past year, and I make a lot of videos on comparison between Germany and the US. Oh, sorry, there's some popcorn right there. That was my snack last night. But anyway, I make a lot of videos on comparing the two countries. One of my other videos that was really popular is why I disliked German high school and just the aspects that I wasn't the biggest fan of. But today I actually have a list of items that I liked more about German high school than American high school. So all of the ways that German school I find is better, and just certain things that Germans do that I think the US could benefit from. In the end, this is my general opinion and not anything scientifically proven or anything. So I hope you guys enjoy hearing some of the differences, and let's get on with the video. My first difference that I like about German high school is the way the schedules work. It seems like you have less class because on certain days you get out of class way earlier. I know that in the US my schedule was the exact same every day, which can have some benefits because it's easier to remember. But every single day I would leave my house at 7:50, I would get to school, and then my school day would end at 3. And it was the same every single day. Whereas in Germany, on Mondays my class finished at 12:10. On Wednesdays I was out at 1 o'clock. And then the trade back is that on Tuesdays and Thursdays I had class longer. Some of my peers had class until like 5 o'clock, which is very late in an American sense. People would be saying, 5 o'clock, you're almost getting ready for dinner. But I really liked the freedom that it gave on those days when school ends so early, because I would go and have lunch at home with my host family and with my host mom, and it was just so nice to do that, because in the US that's not really a possibility. You have to eat at school, and that's another point. My next one that I think the German system has down so good, and that I really wish the American system had, is that teachers in Germany have more status and that they are paid higher and well respected. And that's not to say that in America we don't respect our teachers, because clearly we do, and I'm so grateful for my teachers so much. They have really shaped who I am as a person and encouraged me to even study abroad. So I love my teachers so much. It's just really unfortunate that in the US they don't get paid that much, and that has been a problem that is coming up in courts and more protests and such, because people are realizing that teachers should be paid more. But it was just very much a shock to go to Germany and see how teachers are so well regarded. Sorry, that's my phone. They're so well regarded and they are paid very well. I wish that was the case in America. In some places it is the case, but oftentimes it isn't, and our teachers do deserve higher salaries. The next thing that I enjoy about German school, or enjoyed in the past tense, is that with the Vertretungsplan, sometimes the classes were just canceled, and it was so cool to go in and see on the TV. Oh, actually I take that back. Sometimes it was not cool, because I would come in and my first class was canceled, so I could have slept in like a full 30-40 minutes longer. But when a teacher isn't there, or there is a meeting or something comes up, then it says on the big TV plan that your class is just canceled and you can hang out in the school. Sometimes, at least in our school, you were allowed to leave and come back, or you can even just come in late when you don't have that class, which I think is really cool. It kind of gives it a college feel. Whereas in the US, your class is never really canceled. You have to have a substitute teacher, and they have to pay the substitute teacher. And honestly, whenever you have a sub, it's just busy work. You don't actually learn anything in that class. You just sit and don't really do any work, which I don't think is a good use of time. When we had a Vertretungsplan and people weren't there, our teachers weren't there, then we would sit in the Mensa, and some kids would study for their other classes or just use the time more productively than when we have a sub in the US, and you just kind of use it as a free time to chill and hang out with your friends in class, but it's like a full hour course of doing nothing. The next thing I'm kind of conflicted about, so I made this list with a friend and we were going back and forth over whether these are actual benefits or kind of so-so. The one that the person gave me was that there are longer pauses in German school, which I do like the longer pauses, but growing up with the American system, it does seem a little useless at points because I'm like, why wouldn't we not have this 25-minute pause and then we could leave class earlier? However, I understand that there's probably information that backs this and that says that having these pauses gives your mind a break and it allows you to concentrate better in your other classes. So I'm sure that the longer pauses and the way pauses are spread out in German school are beneficial to the students. For example, in my school at least, I know I was in a gymnasium, I've said this in previous videos, not every school is the same in Germany. However, in my school we had a 25-minute break after the second class, we had a 15-minute break at one point, and then our lunch was super long. So all of these breaks allow you to kind of rest and stop focusing so much on your classes. The next one that I think is cool is how Germany divides the schools into Realschule, Hauptschule, Gymnasium, because this allows students to really consider if they want to go on the university path or if they'd rather go into a profession and have a practicum or a internship for this profession. I think that it places students in a better position because it's not only focused on university. And then, for example, in the Gymnasium, most of the students are very determined and they really want to work hard in school. And so it just kind of gives a collective feel for everyone is working towards the same goal. We have some things like that in the US, but in general, everyone goes to high school and it's not really divided into these levels. I would say that most kids are encouraged to go to college even when that wouldn't be the correct track for them. Classes are sometimes smaller in my German school versus in America. For example, some of my classes like ethics in Germany were under 20 kids. That's not to say that classes in the US are huge, but sometimes they were like upwards of 30 kids. We just had more kids in general in our school. Some people actually benefit from that bigger school environment and from larger classes, whereas I think personally my learning style, I just benefit from having fewer kids in the class because it can lead to more discussion and more understanding with the teacher. I think it was really beneficial the way tests are set up, how you have to write your answer and you don't exactly know what it's going to be on, like you know the general topic, but it's not like given bullet points. Just the way these exams were set up, I think it allows you to really learn the information without just memorizing it and then it coming out of your brain. In my first video that I made, I mentioned multiple choice tests in the US, which I do like because it's kind of easier to study for. But in the sense of learning, I think these written tests are better off for your knowledge and the retention of the information. As an exchange student, I wasn't the biggest fan of them because I didn't know the language well, so it was really hard to write on my own, versus if I had multiple choice that would have been easier because I could read but not write so well. In the US, I would study so much and cram so much and then it would kind of just come out of my ear and I would forget it in a month. The next thing that is somewhat of a benefit in German school is that there's much more focus on school rather than sports. In the US, sports are a large part of high school culture. They're a large part of the high school experience, and sometimes sports can honestly play more value than grades do and than school does, because if you get a commitment offer from a university for a sport, then your grades don't matter as much because the university basically says if you come play soccer for our school and you maintain all B's, we will accept you. So that leads to kids focusing more on sports than they do on grades, and as someone more grade oriented, I think that is a bit unfair because I'm not good at sports. However, people who are good at sports may find that as a benefit in the American system. But I liked how in Germany students really put their schoolwork first, my friends did at least, and sports were kind of a secondary thing. For example, when a friend of mine would have an exam, she would skip cheerleading practice to study for it. It was a mindset where school comes first and education and learning comes first before sports. And personally, that has always been my mindset as well. So it really fit into that German culture part of teens caring so much about school. For lunch, I really liked how you could go somewhere else. And for us, we had a hospital or a clinicum. It was right across the street. You could go up to their Mensa or their cafeteria and purchase items. The downside was that it was kind of expensive. However, we also had a Mensa in the school, and the lunch there was honestly delicious. Some of the people were complaining in my German high school, but boy, if they had to eat American high school food, ugh, it is not good at all. There are movies where it shows like someone scooping mac and cheese or spaghetti and it stays in this little circle form. That is true. I swear, that happens in American lunches. A lot of people end up bringing their lunch to school, which I honestly brought lunch to school sometimes as well in German school because I just didn't want to spend that much money. However, having the option to leave, even go into the city, sometimes we would do that, and then bring the lunch back was super cool. You just don't have that kind of freedom in American high school, and your options are either to buy the gross school lunch or to bring your own. My next and last one, sorry this video is dragging on so long, is that I liked how in Germany you had rows and desks together. There wasn't a single classroom that had single desks. So for us, it was either like 2 people at a big table, so like a 2-person desk, or college seating rows with like rows of people that stack up. And then on your chair you have like the little side desk thingy. I'm really bad at explaining this, but the table, and then you can write your notes on it. It allows for a little more collaboration and you feel closer to your friends in the class versus having those single desks all spaced out. In some American classrooms you can feel kind of isolated. That was all that I had today. Sorry this is kind of long. In general, there are just so many differences between school in the US and Germany. I like that I was able to experience high school in a completely different nation. If you ever have a chance, please go study abroad in high school or in college. I look forward to coming back to Germany and to continuing learning the German language. So thank you so much you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day. You're staying safe and healthy. Also, if you're watching this, just wanted to give a quick shout out to my amazing host sister Annika. She is my best friend and it is her birthday today when this is being published. So happy birthday, Annika. I miss you so much and I love you and I can't wait to see you again soon. Tschüss!